Monsters start hunting Maru because his body may be the real disaster. Spoilers ahead for this Korean manhwa recap. Maru Han is a socially awkward job seeker who finally gets pulled toward government work, only to discover the position is not normal civil service at all. Hidden beneath the Ministry of Environment is a team that handles knuckle, human-eating demons tied to yellow dust. Maru is terrified, untrained, and desperate for an ordinary life, but every incident suggests the monsters are not just appearing near him by chance. Something about him draws them in, and his body may react to their fields in a way even professionals do not understand. Maru hides inside a rural house while yellow dust spreads through the forested village outside. He fears the creature chasing him may still find him, and that fear becomes worse when special civil service officers arrive calling for Officer Kong Changja. A purple-haired officer reports a level 3 alert and warns that an unkillable monster has returned to the area where it is needed. Maru panics because that means the danger has not passed at all. A restricted barrier is disturbed, a shadowy knuckle-like creature attacks, and Maru is thrown through the chaos while begging for help. He tries to run and hide, but an elderly woman is also trapped nearby. A female officer appears to cut down the threat, only for Maru to realize the monster has already regenerated. The nightmare does not end when Maru wakes up. He bolts upright from a dream about the attack, shaken enough to decide he does not want to go to work, even after fighting so hard for a government job. When he tries to sleep again, smoky nightmare imagery gathers around him, filling his room with visions of red bodies in monster shapes. By morning, he looks outside and sees a fire spreading near Cheongdae Mountain. The scene shifts to officers facing a huge black creature cracked with lava-like heat in a burning forest. A yellow-jacketed female officer focuses on containing the fire, but the wider situation is already breaking apart. Headquarters receives reports of simultaneous attacks in 20 locations, a changed pattern, and a Busan portal that still refuses to close. The scattered emergency begins to concentrate in Busan. At night, black spatial rifts tear open above the mountain while yellow dust and spiritual pressure vanish from other regions. A blue-haired field agent stands before the gates as purple-black force pours over the area, and monsters gather as if answering a command. Their distorted demand is not fully clear, but they keep insisting that someone be brought to them. The blue-haired agent uses a dark space ability to contain the rifts, pulling the gates into his own power at a painful cost. Back at headquarters, the purple-haired director treats the change as proof that the target has moved quickly. When information about the person being sought comes into focus, the danger begins pointing back toward Maru. Maru finally enters the Ministry of Environment building and, for one brief second, it looks like his dream of stable employment has come true. Then the Special Civil Service Office shatters that illusion. A blue-haired team leader discusses suspicious patterns, a green-shirted co-worker treats danger with strange casualness, and other agents behave as if monster alerts are just part of the schedule. The team talks about recent nationwide knuckle incidents, the appearance pattern returning to normal, and a prophecy-like warning tied to something falling from the sky. Maru is overwhelmed by the bizarre co-workers, the dangerous job, and the promise of an enormous allowance. But before he can understand the rules, another yellow dust mountain attack reminds him that this office does not simply process paperwork. It sends people into disasters. A casual meal turns into another emergency when a mountain incident interrupts the team. The blue-haired team leader refuses another volunteer and chooses Maru instead, shocking him because he still barely understands the job. During the ride, Maru learns about monster activity connected to Busan and preparations already underway, but the important truth is brutal: he is useful because knuckle gather around him. The team leader's plan treats Maru less like a protected rookie and more like bait. When they reach the field, Maru appears to affect or absorb the monster-related space in a way that shocks even him. Afterward, the office explains that joining the Special Civil Service also means surveillance, secrecy, and losing normal freedom. Maru quits and calls his mother, hoping ordinary life is still possible. Maru's attempt to leave collapses the moment he realizes his mother is near Mount Inwang, where yellow dust has risen. Emergency vehicles and field responders gather around the incident area, but civilians are still caught on the mountain paths. Maru rushes in, questioning people near the entrance and trying to understand where his mother might be. The forest is already unstable, and the monster threat is active somewhere inside the dust. He finds hikers, including a red-shirted civilian, but the situation remains confused and dangerous. Special civil service personnel continue monitoring the Level 5 incident while Maru pushes forward through fear. The monsters seem pulled toward him, yet the person he wants to save is deeper inside the danger. Running away is no longer an option when his mother may be next. The Mount Inwang crisis forces Maru to make the choice he has avoided since joining the unit. His mother and other civilians are in danger, tiger-like monsters appear in the yellow dust, and nearby people panic because the creatures seem to know where they are. Maru realizes there is no reliable help close enough. He is battered, terrified, and still not trained for any of this, but fear does not erase the fact that civilians are standing behind him. Instead of hiding behind the title of civil servant, he finally acts like one. He accepts that protecting people is now his responsibility and steps away from his mother toward the threat, promising to return soon. The outcome remains uncertain, but the turning point is clear. Maru stops treating the job like a mistake and starts moving like someone who has to protect others. Maru's confrontation with the tiger-like knuckle pushes his abnormal power into the open. The fight does not look like a normal officer subduing a monster with preparation or weapons. Instead, the yellow dust field and creature energy seem to react directly to Maru's body, as if his strange hunger is drawing the danger inward. The monster-related force appears to be consumed, absorbed, or pulled away from the civilians. That saves people from immediate death, but it also makes Maru even more frightening as a mystery. His mother and the other civilians remain shaken, and the Special Civil Service can no longer treat his condition as a private oddity. The crisis proves that Maru might be the key to stopping these fields, which means the organization has even less reason to let him walk away. After Mount Inwang, Maru arrives at the Special Civil Service office as an official rookie, but the mood is far from heroic. Co-workers tease him for his awkward return, his changed expression, and the fact that he already tried to run from the job. The story then circles back to the hike that trapped his mother, where warnings about the mountain were ignored and a group of civilians encountered a strange mirror-type knuckle. This threat seems able to copy or reflect abilities, making it more dangerous than a simple beast attack. Maru rushes in because he wants to protect his mother and prove he is not useless. Somehow, he overcomes the stronger threat, but the aftermath becomes another embarrassment, because co-workers suspect the bizarre solution involved him consuming the entire field again. Maru barely has time to settle before the blue-haired team leader starts talking about his potential and the possibility of scouting him for an elite headquarters team. Maru cannot understand why anyone would want him, especially while he is still terrified by every monster-related assignment. The office keeps turning his panic into comedy, with co-workers laughing as he argues with the team leader about strange abilities and reckless behavior. Then a Level 2 alert interrupts everything, and the senior drags Maru into another field mission. Their destination is an abandoned mountain house surrounded by yellow dust, locked rooms, and strange noises. The blue-haired leader seems excited by the possibility of a strong knuckle, while Maru sees only a death trap. By the time they enter, normal support already feels far away. This stretch works because Maru's power fantasy setup is wrapped in dread instead of instant confidence. He does not become a fearless monster hunter the moment he joins the Special Civil Service. He panics, quits, complains, runs late, gets mocked, and still keeps being pushed into situations where civilians need him. That makes his growth feel messy but believable. The most important pattern is that the knuckle are not just random enemies. They gather around him, demand someone, react to his presence, and create fields his body may be able to consume. The organization sees potential, his mother becomes the emotional anchor that forces him to act, and the blue-haired team leader keeps dragging him into bigger danger. The locked mountain house is the perfect cliffhanger because Maru is no longer only surviving accidents. He is being tested on purpose. Subscribe for the next recap, because Maru's locked house mission may expose what the monsters really want.